Hi guys, I'm going to be reading you the story of Sleeping Beauty today on this video, and then at the end of the video recording I will go over what you need to do at home so that you're prepared when you come into class tomorrow. So let's start with the book, Sleeping Beauty. There once was a good, kind king and his queen. After many years, the queen had a baby girl. The king and queen were very happy and loved the little princess. When the baby princess was christened, the king invited 6 good fairies of the kingdom to a feast at the palace. But the king forgot to invite the 7th fairy, who was mean and wicked, but very powerful. The wicked fairy showed up at the palace, very angry, and said to the baby, "When you turn 16, you will prick your finger on a spinning wheel and die." And then she disappeared. The king and queen were devastated, but one of the good fairies said, "I cannot undo the spell of the wicked fairy, but I can change the curse. Instead of dying, you shall fall asleep for 100 years." Everyone was in despair. The king then shouted, "All spinning wheels of my kingdom must be burned. Then the princess cannot prick her finger on one." And so it was done. When she turned 16, the princess was wandering through the palace, and she saw a little staircase she had never seen before. In a room at the top of the staircase, she found an old woman with a spinning wheel. It was the wicked fairy in disguise. "What are you doing?" asked the princess. "I'm spinning. Come, I'll show you," said the wicked fairy, and when the princess put out her hand, she pricked her finger. At once she fell asleep, but the spell was so strong that everyone else in the palace fell asleep as well. The years went by, and a dense forest grew outside, hiding the palace. After 100 years had passed, a prince was walking through the forest when he saw the palace gate. He entered the gate and saw everyone sleeping. He then went to the tower and found the princess asleep. He was so overwhelmed by her beauty that he kissed her gently. She opened her eyes and smiled. "You've come at last," she said. Suddenly, everyone in the palace woke up, and the king quickly thanked the prince for breaking the wicked fairy's spell. The prince then asked if he could marry the princess. "Of course," said the king. "Yes, please," says the princess. The prince and the princess had a grand wedding, and they all lived happily ever after. The end. Okay, so that was our story. So here is going to be the story map that I sent you home with. So for title and author, you just have to put the title, so that would be Sleeping Beauty. For characters, I want you to list as many characters as you remember. For setting, that would be where the story took place, the problem, what happened in the book that was a problem, and then the solution was how did they fix it. So I want you to go ahead and fill that out to the best of your abilities. And then right down here is a paper that I'm also going to send you home with. So these are questions for our Socratic seminar, which we will be having tomorrow in class. And I'll go ahead and read you the questions. The question 1 is, what do you think the word christened means? Question 2, how do you feel if someone forgot to invite you to their party? Do you think the wicked fairy acted the right way? Question 3, was the little staircase always there? How do you think it got there? Question 4, what do you think the word dense means? And question 5, what happens to time during the curse? So I want you to go ahead and answer these to the best of your abilities again. If you have a hard time finding the answer to one of the questions, that's okay. To help you out, I put them in the order of how they show up in the book. So if you need to, you can watch this video over again to see the story with the questions in front of you. So yeah, just come to class tomorrow with these 2 things filled out, and then we will go over the rest tomorrow in class. Have a good day.